Hello, everyone. I want to continue our discussions today of common or some of the more common mental health disorders. And today I want to talk about OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, this particular diagnosis is something that's kind of made its way into our popular vocabulary. And often if we have something that we, like just so, we'll say, oh, that's my OCD, or, OCD made me do that. And so it becomes almost difficult to distinguish what the disorder actually is versus what is just, certain preferences that we may have or certain things we like a certain way. So again, to diagnose a disorder, it has to be severe and it has to be interfering with life or potentially causing an amount of distress. So if I like to say have all my picture frames exactly straight and every morning I come into my office and I straighten them just to make sure, is that a bit of an OCD characteristic or similar? Yeah, to a degree, one could say. You feel a bit of discomfort when maybe your pictures are slightly off kilter, and so you correct that and then you carry on with your day. Now, that wouldn't be diagnosed as OCD because realistically, it's not causing you much difficulty. It's not causing you any issue with different areas of your life. When we diagnose OCD, there can be rituals that a person needs to do or feels they have to do that may or may not make sense. Or there may be different actions they take over and over and over again, even though they know in their brain logically it doesn't make sense. Or they may have only thoughts that are really disturbing and uncomfortable, but they feel they have no control over. OCD is actually related to anxiety disorders in that a person takes an action or follows through on a compulsion in response to an increase in anxiety. So what will happen is that a situation occurs in which the person would normally carry out a compulsion. And then after that situation has occurred, their anxiety starts to build and build and build and build. And eventually they feel they can't tolerate it anymore. And so they take whatever action they feel they need to take to reduce the anxiety. Now, OCD doesn't remain the same because after a while, maybe, one action isn't enough. So now you have to do it twice because the anxiety isn't going away as fast. So for example, one actually quite common one I see is people who drive who have a fear that they have driven or run over somebody on their way home. And so they'll drive their route home and they'll get home and the thought will occur to them, what if I hit somebody and I didn't realize it? And anxiety will build and build and build and build. And then in order to make it go away, they will take an action of redriving their route home just to be sure, just so that the anxiety stops. And, maybe that works for a year or two. And I mean, okay, driving your route home twice, if it's not very far, isn't a huge deal. But eventually driving it twice just doesn't cut it anymore. It doesn't make the anxiety go away. And so the person now maybe drives that route 3 times or 4 or 5, or, maybe it takes them 3 hours to drive 15 minutes home because they have to do it so many times to make the anxiety go away. What sustains compulsions is continuing to do them because there's a feeling that the anxiety levels become intolerable, and so the person is forced to take the action. However, anxiety levels can only be extremely, extremely high for a certain period of time because we only have that much of the chemical in our body to keep them that high for half an hour, maybe somewhere in there. And so anxiety naturally peaks and then comes down. Now, if your anxiety peaks and you take an action to make it go away, you don't get acclimated to the fact that, okay, yes, there'll be a little anxiety and it's not as bad and I can handle it. And then eventually the worry around the situation goes away. And, there's treatment called exposure response prevention, which it can be done by professionals to help people stop doing those compulsions and actually being able to wait through the anxiety and allow their system to realize that there's not the threat or the risk that the system's telling them there is. Some other examples of compulsions could be turning around 3 times before you sit down, feeling like if you don't open and close the fridge door 10 times after you've shut it, that, you know, it could be as illogical as if you don't do that, then your mom's going to pass away. So there's usually a dire consequence that's feared if a certain action isn't taken, and the person feels like they can't stop. So they know logically in their brain that what they're doing doesn't make sense. They're not convinced that, you know, like someone with a delusion may be, that they can save the world by opening and closing the fridge door. That, like I said, that would be more delusional thinking. People with OCD, they know that it doesn't make sense, but the anxiety becomes so intolerable, they feel they have no choice. And so people with this disorder suffer a great deal because they feel like their behavior is being dictated by anxiety and not by their own desires. The part of this disorder that can be quite invisible for people is, we call it pure O, or like pure obsessions. So those are thoughts that come and go for people. They may be really fixated on something, and often these thoughts are very embarrassing. They're very uncomfortable. People can't believe these things are even occurring to them. And one of the things that I can't emphasize enough is that the thoughts that you have that become trapped as part of this obsessional thinking are not representative of who you are as a person. Our brain throws thousands and thousands of thoughts at us during the day. It processes so much information, and it ponders things, and it does its job in the background of our lives quite automatically. Most of us will have weird thoughts occur to us periodically. Like we might be, you know, oh, well, what if I just took all the money out of the till as soon as the manager's not looking? You know, anybody who's worked retail, you may have had something like that. You know, there's like a pile of 20s in the cash register, and you think, oh, I could just take those. And then, of course, for most of us, we think, well, that's a weird thought. I would never do that. We shut the cash drawer and we keep going. Now, someone who has obsessional thinking would notice how disturbing that thought would be to them, and they would begin to think it and worry about it over and over and over again. You know, why would I think that? And, you know, if I wanted to do that, does that mean that I'm a criminal? Maybe I'm a criminal, and, you know, maybe I should just not, just not go near the cash register, because you never know, I might actually take that money because I thought it, I might want to do that. And they struggle with being able to let go of that thought, like most of us are able to do. And so it's really important for people who struggle with any sort of obsessional thoughts to realize the thoughts that are occurring to you likely have occurred to everybody at some point. We all have taboo thoughts that kind of wander through our brain. We all have thoughts about things that we would never do. And for most of us, we're just like, well, that was weird, and we let them go. For the people with pure obsessional thoughts, they grab a hold of it and they can't let go. And they're afraid that this thought means something horrible about them. And it truly, truly doesn't. It's a symptom of the OCD, and it does not dictate who that person is or what the character of that person is. And if you are struggling with pure obsessional thoughts, definitely seek help from a professional. They will be able to give you some techniques that you'll be able to use to start slowing down those thoughts and taking control of your mind again. Medication is also plays a big part in managing OCD. So again, making an appointment with your doctor or with a psychiatrist or someone that you trust that is able to work with medications, and they will be able to help you kind of dial back some of that anxiety with some medical options that may make doing exposure response prevention therapy or any of the other therapies a little more tolerable in the beginning. But there definitely is help, and there definitely is hope for people with this disorder. And I think the best thing to do is to be understanding and supportive. So hopefully that's helpful, kind of a wander through OCD. And there's a lot of information out there for people who have further questions. For most of us, if you just, Google OCD and look for some of the more reputable websites out there. So, the World Health Organization may have something. Definitely the DSM-5 diagnoses would give more information into that. There's a few clinics out of the States that have websites that give you reputable information so you can find out a little bit more about the disorder and what can be done. Thanks. Have a great day.